The marriage of Hollywood actress Grace Kelly to Prince Rainier III of Monaco in 1956 was like a fairy tale story. However, behind the closed doors of the royal palace, many unpleasant things occurred in real life. Various biographers of the Grimaldis have claimed that the couple's life was unhappy, and an old legend even suggested that the entire family was cursed. Why did Grace Kelly's life disappoint her in such a luxurious palace in Monaco? And why did the princess want to escape? Keep watching for more details on the WOW channel. How to marry a prince? Indeed, many girls would like to ask Grace Kelly this question and be in her place, but it is unlikely that her answer would have pleased them. This meeting was not at all accidental. They met at the Cannes Film Festival in 1955 through another actress, Olivia de Havilland. Undoubtedly, on the same day, they were fascinated by each other and began a sensual correspondence. However, it was not just love. It was rumored that Prince Rainier III of Monaco had long wanted to marry a Hollywood star to save the economic situation in his country and attract tourists. Initially, those close to him suggested he marry actress Marilyn Monroe, but she was uninterested. Instead, he chose Oscar-winning Grace Kelly, who had her own reasons for marrying the prince. She wanted to escape the Hollywood scene and find a peaceful family life in beautiful Monaco. However, the marriage wasn't financially beneficial for her, as her family was required to pay $2 million as a dowry. Grace contributed some of the money herself, but the rest came from her parents' budget. Surprisingly, the only one who benefited from this marriage was the prince himself. Following their lavish wedding, which was dubbed the wedding of the century, Monaco, a small country that many people previously overlooked on the world map, has become a highly desirable tourist destination, particularly for millionaires. This luxurious and glamorous lifestyle has attracted people from all corners of the globe, and it is all thanks to the magnificent Grace Kelly, who dedicated herself completely to her royal responsibilities. But since her arrival in Monaco, she felt homesick and likely dissatisfied with her new royal lifestyle. Kelly was frequently required to attend ceremonies and official functions, always in the public eye. All she longed for was some time to herself. I am sure there were times in the early years when she felt somewhat like a prisoner in a gilded cage behind the palace walls, said Grace's closest friend, Joan Dale, in her book, My Days with Princess Grace of Monaco. After marrying a prince and living in a luxurious palace overlooking the Mediterranean Sea with her 3 children, she still felt unhappy. One reason for this was giving up her passion for acting in Hollywood films. Prior to the wedding, she had planned to continue her career, and her husband had no objections. However, upon becoming a princess, she realized that an acting career was incompatible with her royal duties. The movie Grace of Monaco, featuring Nicole Kidman, portrays the story of how the princess is presented with a script from Alfred Hitchcock for the lead role in Marnie for $1 million. Despite her desire to return to acting, her husband cruelly denies her the opportunity. This causes immense sadness for Grace, who even contemplates getting a divorce. However, she ultimately decides to give up her passion and focus on her royal duties so as not to risk losing custody of her children. It is curious if the movie is based on true events. Some members of the Grimaldi family have claimed that the film is full of inaccuracies and fictional scenes. However, the scriptwriters insist that they portrayed the truth, as they based it on interviews with multiple royal biographers and insiders. They even claim that the movie depicts the palace situation better than reality, since those close to Prince Rainier III state that he was even more imperious and cruel in real life. Biographer Wendy Lee wrote in her book, True Grace, The Life and Times of an American Princess, that Rainier was repeatedly unfaithful and had 3 mistresses within months of their marriage. Grace was humiliated, and she was extremely unhappy, Lee told the Daily Mail. She was surrounded by decadence and Rainier's disreputable friends. According to Express, Grace told her hairstylist, I know my husband has affairs with other women. That's very frustrating to me and makes me very unhappy. Express writes that Grace also cheated on her husband. She allegedly dated Marlon Brando and Frank Sinatra. In addition, it's also alleged that Grace had a love nest with an unknown man, and their affair lasted several years. It has been suggested by some other biographers that Grace Kelly desired a divorce and to return to her previous life in Hollywood. The notion of marrying a prince and residing in a palace on the Mediterranean coastline may have seemed idyllic in theory, but the reality was much more complex. Grace had to adjust to a new life in Monaco, where everyone spoke French, a language she was unfamiliar with, and had already left behind the life she had known in America. Despite the challenges, Prince Rainier was passionate about keeping his marriage intact. As he revealed in a 1974 interview, he was motivated, as he explained, by his own parents' marriage. "I think the experience of my parents' separation when I was only 6 has subconsciously made me very much want my own marriage to succeed," he confessed. He continued, saying, "We try to turn differences into jokes and not give them more importance than they should have." The couple learned to cope with all the problems. So despite the differences for everyone, they seemed like the perfect family. And they managed to save the marriage and live together for 26 years. Princess Grace Kelly could not obtain a divorce and depart from Monaco primarily due to her children. Princess Caroline was born a year after her marriage, followed by Prince Albert, the designated successor to the throne, the following year. Princess Stephanie, their youngest daughter, was born 7 years later. Since they were royal heirs, leaving Monaco was not an option. As a result, in the event of a divorce, the children would have remained with their father, and Grace would have been unable to see them. Grace and Rainier tried to give their children as normal a life as possible. "It is difficult for the children," Kelly told Image in 1979. "They are different whether they like it or not. And of course, they used to hate being different. When they went to school here in Monaco, they wanted to be like all the other children." Princess Grace Kelly raised her children in a strict way, as they were members of the royal family. "I have had to be a little sterner than the average mother," she said. But of course, discipline must be tempered with humor. As you can see, Grace Kelly's life was not perfect. "I certainly don't think of my life as a fairy tale," she said. "I think of myself as a modern contemporary woman who has had to deal with all kinds of problems that many women today have to deal with. Like many other ordinary women, she had to endure her husband's betrayals, give up her career and her favorite job. But even sadder was her death. She passed away at the age of 52 due to a road accident. It was a blow to her husband and to all family members. Prince Rainier III never married again. Unlike fairy tales where lovers die on the same day, he lived for another 23 years after her death. This love story is far from being happy, and many people believe that it's due to a curse. According to a popular lore, the dynasty is afflicted by a curse that dates from the 13th century, when Prince Rainier I kidnapped and defiled a young woman who took revenge by pronouncing that never will a Grimaldi find true happiness in marriage. This curse supposedly affected Grace Kelly's marriage to the Prince of Monaco. None of their 3 children also found happiness in their personal lives. The press occasionally reports rumors of an impending divorce between Prince Albert and Princess Charlene, while Princess Caroline and Stephanie have been married and divorced multiple times. Is this curse story actually true? Thanks for watching. Remember to share your thoughts with me. Click like and subscribe. See you next time.